So yesterday we had a big bounce across all the markets. Today, not so much. Yesterday, Bitcoin dropped below the 30K region, but then after that it found some liquidity and it bounced back up to around the 32K mark. However, today we're seeing a very different story once again. But it is good to note that only a couple of days ago we did see the highest volume we'd seen all year, which means big trading and investing happening. Yesterday when the stocks opened, they were trading right where they were the day before. So again, a big bounce there. So did we find a bottom yesterday? Was it a reactionary bounce or a bull trap? In this video, we're going to look at some charts, look at some news, and figure out what the hell is going on in the market from my perspective. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Peter from the EIR Show, where we talk about everything investing. Please don't forget to subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, and like the video. If you could comment, even better. So let's dive into the market analysis. Now, I'm going to get started with the stock market. I think I want to just kind of cover that briefly, and I'm going to interlace it with some news, move into some crypto. I may even talk about UST and the whole Luna thing, although that's been covered a lot on YouTube, and I think you can find your way around that yourselves if it's something that you're invested in, but we will take a brief look at it as well. Let's look at the charts. Let's go straight to my screen. Here we are. Now we're going to have a look. Let me just go to this. This is the SPI, the ETF on the S&P 500. Now we can see it's down a lot again. Now, of course, the markets are closed at the moment. We will see an open soon. It didn't do too well yesterday, even though we were having a fairly good bounce. We are on the daily here. It's not looking great. I mean, if we were to look at the all-time high here, it was around 480. We're down. We went down to 394, 395 yesterday. Quite a significant drop from the top. In fact, let's just quickly measure that. Yeah, around 17%. Okay, that's quite a considerable drop. Although, if you were thinking, we're in a recession and we're going to see a massive volatile drop, 18% isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. But, going back to this chart, we're looking at this candle, we did bounce quite somewhat, we've got quite a long wick here. But, let's look at something like an individual stock like Netflix. I mean, Netflix really, it suffered. All right, it suffered quite a bit. I mean, Netflix is trading about 40% or so below the COVID crash bottom that we hit at the time, and that's saying a lot. I mean, COVID was great for Netflix, right? Okay, I don't mean to be insensitive on that, but everyone was at home, everyone was living in their own bubbles, everyone was Netflix and chilling and Netflix and laughing or crying or whatever it was, and it was doing, and it did do considerably well. But I mean, to be 40% below the COVID crash, not too great. Now, again, are we finding a bottom? Personally, I don't think so. I think we're going to still see more lows on this, but it's yet to be seen. No one is a fortune teller, including myself, and anyone that tells you otherwise is, well, BSing. So all in all, not a healthy market, right? If we look at the QQQ, same sort of thing. I mean, on yesterday's close, by the time it closed, we did see a considerable bounce. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, not healthy. All right, not healthy. We've got some very uncertain times ahead, in my opinion. If you're looking to invest in any of these things, yes, you can DCA in. Yes, I have DCA'd in, but please do your own research. I'm just kind of giving you guys a brief overview of what I'm seeing in the market. I do think that we're going to see some more downturn. Okay, how much more, I'm not sure, but typically, especially when we have such a big drop, okay, like we've seen, whether it be in stocks or in crypto, I don't go on impulse to buy straight in. Some people do, and they do particularly well with it, especially if they're longing or shorting or doing anything like that. I like to see it settle. I want to see it settle. I want to see the market kind of find a range and then go from there, which is a more cautious way to do it, which is, in my opinion, the better way to do it. But yeah, you know, not great as a whole, okay, with stocks. I mean, look at some other ones. Amazon on their own, same sort of thing. Just look at the Coinbase one. I don't think Coinbase did too well. Huge volume candle there, and yeah, I mean, Coinbase stock is not doing particularly great, and I believe there's some news on that. So bottom line is, could there be more pain for stocks, or is the bottom in? I don't think the bottom is in quite yet, okay? I could be wrong, you know, but I am waiting to see how the market is going to react now, especially when it opens. But it could be starting to bottom, or it could be starting to find a temporary bottom anyway. And we just saw, you know, panic overreaction amongst a lot of other things. You know, with that being said, I did buy a little bit, okay? DCA down. DCA, dollar cost average, by the way, guys, if you don't know, understand it. It's very important to know. In fact, I'll link you to this video here, which explains to you about how to invest, and, you know, especially with, actually, if you watch my crypto, how to buy crypto for the first time, I do explain DCA a bit more detail as well. But it's important to know these kind of terms, and important to know that's a very good strategy, or a safer strategy to use, rather than going all in and throwing money in to something and then seeing it crash the next day is not a good feeling. And moving on to another point, which I'm going to go into a bit more after. Always have cash on the side, guys. Don't be all in on 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 things. Try, if you can, have some cash on the sides for when instances like this do happen, so you can take advantage of it, right? Take advantage of it. You're not planning on selling today, so have some money on the side, and you see a drop, DCA in, okay? Let's just quickly look at some news on stocks. Is there anything that I can see that I had here prepared? I did have some more prepared yesterday, and I've lost them. Nothing that I'm going to be basically going over with stocks. But I think with the whole stock front, maybe I might do a dedicated video on the stock market in general, a bit more detailed, with a bit more information on it. I just wanted to kind of cover it now to roll into the crypto market and to show you how it's lying alongside the stock market, okay? Everything's correlated. Now, another thing to be aware of as well, we've got a lot of uncertainty in the world. Like I said, you do have the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, and you've got the Federal Reserve. We don't know what the European bank, central banks are going to do. We don't know what the Federal Reserve is going to do. So anything can come out of the woodwork and blow whatever you may think is going to happen with the charts away from your point of view. But that's one thing to note as well. Don't just rely on the charts. You've got to look at outside sources as well, like news and figuring out what's going on in the world. But anyway, that's enough about stocks. Let's go into crypto. I was going to be talking about UST, right? The whole UST thing, right? Which is a stable coin. I'm not going to cover it in too much detail, to be honest, because it's already happened now. It's yesterday's news, more or less. There are more developments in it, and there's a lot of people that have covered it on YouTube. So I don't really want to go into too much detail. But we did see, let's find the article, the UST, okay, which is the stable coin, lost its peg, okay, for the second time in 48 hours. This was as of as of 2 days ago, and it fell as low as 65 cents on Monday. Let's just quickly look at where it is right now. Let's just go to my crypto list. Boom, and there we go. Where are we? Okay, we're at 50 cents. We dropped yesterday even more. I mean, again, great volume here, but look at this drop of the price, above 50 cents. It went down to 22 cents, right? I mean, look, if we were to zoom in a little bit here, right? Let me zoom in a bit more. This is what a stable coin should look like, right? It should be pegged to the dollar. It should be a little bit up, a little bit under. Should not be this, okay? And this is what the whole panic, freaking out thing went on with UST in the crypto market, especially from people holding it, thinking it was a safer bet because it's a stable coin. Big shame with what happened with it. And to be honest, because of what happened with UST, it was, I believe, the tail end of the first massive Bitcoin price dump that we saw. And that was because to try to reach back to their peg, I believe they had to sell about $750 million worth of their reserves. I might be wrong, that number might be far greater, but a hell of a lot of Bitcoin from their reserves. And I believe they did that on Gemini, right? Again, I might be mistaken on that. But anyway, that did not help the Bitcoin price whatsoever. So in my opinion, the tail end of the Bitcoin price drop was because of a systematic risk of a platform that was not operating efficiently. Now, also people saying, it was an attack as well, but even then, it should have been able to survive an attack. But anyway, I mean, that's the whole UST thing. I just wanted to kind of briefly mention it because, well, everyone is, and I know a lot of people are panicking about it and talking about it. I mean, let's look at Luna as well. I mean, Luna 591, and I mean, its all-time high was $120 almost, okay? What is that drop? That's a significant drop. Nice. I mean, it's a great drop. If you are a Luna aficionado, you really like Luna, or you hold Luna and you want a dollar cost average in, and you believe in it, then now's a good time to do so and to buy. So, in my opinion, can it drop more? Yes, but again, you've got to do your own research with all of this. Anything that I say or recommend or talk about is of my own personal opinion, and none of this is financial advice, right? That should go without saying. I'm just telling you what I see, but me personally, I didn't buy any. I know some people are saying this is the best opportunity for people, and some people, and I mean, if the scenario goes the way a lot of people are thinking, then this could be a great scenario for everyone that's buying Luna at these sort of prices. Me, I'm not. That's just my own personal thing with it. But yeah, crazy. Let's look at something a bit less crazy, and let's go to the Bitcoin chart. Now, we're at 31,100, okay, just over. We've had an incredible drop there. Have we found a bottom? Okay, I guess is the first thing that everyone is kind of asking. Or should I sell? Should I panic and sell everything? Definitely don't do that, right? Definitely, in my opinion, right? Please don't do that. This will recover. It always does, okay? If not now, I mean, we could still drop down to the mid-20s. And if we do that, I am prepared with other plans that I'm going to be doing because, well, you have to, very basic, right? Very basic. Just zoom out. I mean, let's look at the weekly chart. If I just do something like this, right? It's not so bad as you think, right? You might have bought in, let's say here, if you're new to Bitcoin and thinking, oh my God, it's dropped from the heavens, and I'm panicking. It's not crazy, right? It's not crazy. So again, I hate saying this because I hate cheesy lines, but when in doubt, zoom out, or whatever it is that the mainstream YouTubers say. But it's true, right? It is true. So we're trading now at 31,200, and it shows and looks like we're bouncing again, right? We bounced up quite a lot yesterday. We were over the 32,000 mark, right? Which was great. Ideally, I would have liked it to close yesterday around the 32, 33 mark personally. That would have shown a lot more strength in the market. But, okay, it's not doing too bad. Where is it going to go from here? I mean, that's the question, right? And before we kind of dive into that a bit more, let's just quickly look at some articles I've got here. Bitcoin holding support 30K. Again, this is yesterday's news now. Resistance at 35K. If we look at the chart, 35K is around here, and we can see, yeah, that's, there we go, around there, right? That's a good resistance point. If I was to wanting to long a trade, okay, using something like Bybit, which, by the way, guys, it is in my description down below. If you go to the Direct Me page, you'll see it. In fact, let me quickly show you now. When you click that link, you just scroll down to the crypto buy, sell, trade section, and Bybit. If you do sign into Bybit, you've got a chance of getting up to $4,100 of bonuses. And that is after you deposit, right? You do have to know that. But I do use Bybit from time to time when I want to trade. And I was actually going to put in a long yesterday, but I felt like I missed it, so I didn't. And with trading, especially if you're doing any longs or shorts, please be very cautious and understand the risks when you're doing that, especially if you're playing with leverage, right? Especially if you're playing with leverage. I don't play with too much. But anyway, so yeah, where are we? That was the support, the resistance. I mean, we dropped a massive amount under that 30K. No, forget UST. Right, let's just roll into some news just to kind of keep this video a bit more fluid rather than focusing just on one thing. MicroStrategy, I'm not going to kind of talk about this too much, but from what I don't have the bit that I wanted to show you actually, but from what I remember, what I read, his average, MicroStrategy's average buying price was something like 30,000, whatever. And briefly, yesterday, they were under that. Okay, so a bit scary for well, I don't, you know, they've got backup, they've got backup contingencies and everything else. I'm sure they're not worried. But yeah, just something to note there. But again, you know, big backers of Bitcoin, of course, as we know. El Salvador bought 500 more Bitcoin, right? They're adding to their stacks and a good buying price as well. So that was good to see. Crypto market crash, what we've got here. Man, this crash that we saw, okay, a couple of days ago, led to $1 billion worth of liquidations. All right, massive. Ethereum actually, in comparison to Bitcoin, didn't do too bad actually, but yeah, you know, massive liquidation. So please, guys, be careful if you are trading. The safest bet to do when you're investing in crypto is to just hodl. Okay, hold on for dear life. Just hold it, right? Just hold it and just let it, you know, DCA only when it goes down if you want, or just DCA every month, however it is you're going to do, but just hold. Okay, Bitcoin in your money, you should be looking for a long-term investment still. Don't listen to the news of people that bought Doge or Sheep and they made millions, right? Don't look for those kind of shots, because especially if you're new to this game, you will get burnt unless you're very lucky. So just hold. If you are wanting to get a bit more active in the trading side of things, you can do so. Maybe take maybe 10% of your portfolio or 20% of your portfolio, whatever you're comfortable with to trade with. Don't do the whole amount. And if you're trading with leverage, again, be careful, don't over leverage. But again, if you want to do that, you know, you can always check out Bybit. I've got that link, as I said before. Any other news that we want to kind of take into account right now before we head back into the chart? Let's see. Right, where is it? There we go. Let me just refresh this actually. Coindesk, by the way, as you noticed, is one of my resources that I go to for news. Global Financial Stability Watchdog, FSB, says it could write crypto rulebook. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm not going to go into the articles right now. Bitcoin flirts with 30K during Asia trading day as Luna Foundation Guard fights to defend the USD peg. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Luna drops to $8 after 90% weekly purge. Anyway, guys, check out this website for more resources. You know, let's go back to the chart. Let's just sort of focus on Bitcoin. So with what was going on, especially on this day here, when Bitcoin dropped from, you know, 34, 33 region all the way down to 31, and then of course the next day under 30. I don't want to say the majority, but a lot of people had the reaction of, the sky is falling, we're all gonna die. Okay, don't have that reaction. Okay, please don't have that reaction. If you're having that reaction, it purely means that you're too emotionally invested in, or you've invested more than you can afford to lose. So you need to cut that emotional connection to your investments to a minimum, if not to zero. That's a difficult thing to do, all right? It's your hard-earned money that you're investing and you want it to do well. But emotions are usually, in fact, mostly, if not always, the cause of failure, especially when it comes to that, because people will just, I mean, you saw it in 2017-18, right? People panicked, they sold at a massive loss, and if they just kept it, even now, you know, they were to sell from back then, they would be in profit. So just hold. Again, like we said before, zoom out of the charts, look long term. Now, let's just quickly look at the weekly chart and work our way back a little bit. Nice wick. Ideally, we want to see a monster wick, right? If we want to see some kind of recovery and want to see you know, the positives out of this. We want to see a nice bounce and see a recovery. We want to see a nice wick on this candle, okay, by the end of this week. We still have 4.5 days to do so. And considering, you know, in just this week alone, you know, we're midweek and we already have more volume than most of the weeks, right? So that's a very good sign. I mean, for me, what am I seeing? I definitely want to see for sure a close above 33K, right, by the end of this week, if it's possible. If we do that, then great stuff. And that's also why I tend to not trade on impulse when we see a massive dip. Again, other people trade differently. This is just how I trade. I like to see the market take its breather after such a big move, just so I can calculate what my move is. I've been burnt right at the beginning from too much FOMO of doing things. So yeah, I would like to see a close of above 33K if possible. Let's go to the daily. Okay, the daily chart here. Let's see. I mean, look at the volumes here on the last 2 days. We didn't see volumes like this since back in December. Beginning of December, wasn't it? Where are we? December 4th, where are we? There's the candle. So let's look at this candle. I mean, look at this huge candle and then this massive wick. And that's what I'm saying about on the weekly, right? I want to see that big wick, but we went down to almost 42K, but we closed at the end of the day at 49K. So that is hopefully what we might see. Well, you know, that's what I was hoping to see yesterday. I was hoping to see a higher close, but you know, it's good to just kind of look back briefly and just kind of see what happened in the markets back then. And again, something that is always said, past performance is never indicative of future results, okay? It's something to just bear in mind, and just something nice to look at. You know, I like to look at what happened before, not because it's going to tell me what's going to happen tomorrow, but just to see patterns and see how they developed. Just because it rained yesterday doesn't mean it's going to rain tomorrow, okay? But again, putting all this information in and looking back at the charts, and the more you start getting used to reading charts and doing things like that and exercises like that, you just get to see a much clearer and bigger picture, right? At least in my case, right? Anyway, that's how I do it, and that's what I like to do. Now, let's just look at the 4-hourly. Now, I think, you know, just looking at this, we have demand here, you know, from that big dump. I mean, it looks strong, okay? It looks strong. Again, it looks like we found that kind of breather moment. Like I said, you know, we did that big dump. We started here, it dumped down to about the, you know, under the 30s. And now we're just kind of finding a range, okay? And it's that breather that I'm talking about, and how I want to see how the market reacts from here. Now, let's just talk about RSI briefly, because it's something that I do look at. You can tell I don't use too many charting techniques, because I don't like to cluster everything on. In fact, even this is doing my head in a little bit. Let's turn that off. Let's close that up. Right, so look at the RSI on my daily. It finally closed in the oversold area, down to 23.38. Let's just quickly look at the 4-hour as well. You know, it closed down to 11.54. This is massive for me, right? This is massive for me. I like to see that. And it shows, you know, the overreaction and the panic, right? Massively oversold. Then, you know, you just look back, you see massively oversold, you do tend to get these pumps. Let's see, when was the last time we got one before that? Here it just touched. Okay, still, you know, had those pumps. So if you're looking at trading on short terms as well, especially, that is also a good thing to consider into your market analysis, if you like. But again, for me, I just look at all these little things. I'm pretty much going through all the processes of things, or not all, but the ones that I'm covering in this video, to kind of give me a bigger picture of what the market is looking like as a whole as of now. And this doesn't take into account, you know, fundamental analysis and things that's happening outside of the charts. This is just the chart. Of course, news and things affect the prices, which then in turn is reflected in the charts. But, you know, right now could be a meeting of the Federal Reserve, and due to the result of that, could then impact the charts itself after. So you need to take into account, as I said before, other aspects as well, not just the charts. But I'm liking kind of giving you guys a bit of a overview into the charts right now and how I'm seeing it. Now, if we get another dip and we close below 30K again, it can still give us bullish divergence. I mean, if the RSI makes a higher low, okay? So if we go down to the 30K the under 30K area, and the RSI goes down, but not, to a higher low. Okay, you should know what a high low is. Then, again, bullish divergence on that. Now, I'm not saying that the bottom is it, right? I'm not saying that, we're in an area now where we're going to recover from that. We may, but what I'm saying is watch when the next dip happens, okay, if it happens, because it's extremely likely that the buying pressure will step up, okay, which is what the high low, high RSI would mean. So, anyway, with all that being said and done, with Bitcoin and looking at the chart, am I saying the bottom is in? Again, no. Okay, we don't know. Anything can happen over the next few hours, the next few days. We do want to see this breather. We want to see the market breathe and decide where it's going to go and see what happens with all the news. But what I am saying is that I'm buying. I think the main crux of all of this that I want to kind of give to you is that I'm buying. I'm not buying because I think it's a bottom, right? And if we go down to sub 30, I may put a long position in as well. But I'm not buying, okay, for my hodling portfolio because I think we're in that bottom. I'm buying because I'm dollar cost averaging in on the way down, and that's what I want to do. And I want to do that now. And the reason why I want to do that now is because of such a drastic move that we've seen in this market. If we do recover from here, if we have found a bottom, I don't want this to go up to the 44, 45K region, okay, because it bounces down and it breaks out. It goes up to around here. And then at the 45K region, when I see the next dip and it goes down to the 40,000 region, 41K, I don't want to buy in then because of FOMO and say, oh, I should have bought it when it was at 30. I wanted to buy a little bit now, okay? And I think that's something that is for me, is a good strategy that I use and that I have. Don't use this strategy for yourself just because I'm saying it, of course. Do your own research, but that's how I look at the market and that's how I see these things. Because again, I'm holding for the long term as well, right? Yes, investing and doing all this kind of stuff is my full-time profession. And I do sell some of my Bitcoin at times, but don't forget, I've been in Bitcoin for a long time, and everything, even if we're down, even if we go down to 20K, even if we go down to 10K, I'm in profit, all right? I'm in profit. So yeah, take that how you like. For me, don't think we found the bottom. I think we will go a little bit lower. I hope not. But if we do, I've got other things and other plans that I'm going to be doing when that does happen, and I will be showing that when it does happen. But yeah, DCA down, I think is the main message for this. Now, let's just quickly look at CoinMarketCap. Where is it? There we go. Very, very briefly. Let's get rid of this tab because it keeps loading for some reason. Bitcoin is up 2%, okay, in the last 24 hours. Ethereum 3.5%. You've got some others like Solana and Cardano that have done pretty well. Except I don't even say that on my channel. Polkadot as well. Shiba 10%. Now, things with Shiba, guys, especially if you're new to the market, I would stay away from personally. But anyway, Ethereum is doing well, and in fact, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. Oh, one other thing I wanted to quickly mention as well. Another thing that I use, I try not to use this chart too much because it makes me dizzy. But look, one thing that I noticed, and actually other YouTubers talking about it as well, is this, and this is a fractal. If you look at, let's zoom out a little bit here, this run of prices here, okay? We had this box, okay, the support box, where we touched down to the bottom of it here, okay? We had a run up, price kind of cooled down, it went down, and it had a higher low here, right? Again, with the oversold on the RSI. Goes up, comes back down, again to another higher low with oversold on the RSI. And on that third touchdown of this box here, we had this run up. Now, let's look at the area of where we're in now. And we've got our box here. Forget this word, support, I want to get rid of that. Same sort of thing, look. We had this bottom area here, the prices, when we had this run up, right? In fact, I can bring that up a little bit, but I'm not going to tidy that up now. Same thing again here. We had this second run down into this area, right? Higher low, into the oversold area on the RSI. We run up, and then we are now back into this third time of the touchdown into this area with, again, oversold on the RSI. Now, Are we going to follow this previous pattern and we're going to sit in this area for another few days or a week or two and then break out of this area and have another big run up? A lot of people seem to think so. I want to mention again, just because it happened before doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen again, right? But it is good to see, again, like I said before, putting all these jigsaw pieces together and putting all this information, collating it together and seeing a bigger picture of things that have happened. It's good to see that. So it's just something else actually I wanted to mention there. Let's very briefly look at other coins here in the alt market. You know, Ethereum recovering, had its bounce. FTX actually did pretty well yesterday. Did very well yesterday. Same with Matic, I believe, but not as much. Elrond didn't seem to get the memo. Didn't really seem to get the memo last couple of days, but obviously we know Luna is suffering wildly and massively. FTM is not doing too well either. FTM is a project that I really like actually, and I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with FTM, and I'm going to add to my positions, which I've already done so already. But I really love FTM. I mean, everyone was talking about Luna and saying Luna was the biggest and best thing, but look at Luna now. FTM has survived that. Okay, yes, we're down to 45 cents, but I believe there's going to be massive room for this to grow. I believe we are going to go through the all-time highs and beyond with FTM. It's a great ecosystem, but I think I'll do a video just on FTM alone on its own. I just wanted to bring up the charts there as well. So that's it. I think I'm going to kind of leave it there. I mean, Bitcoin dominance yesterday or a couple of days ago was dumping quite a bit, mainly because of Ethereum, okay, versus Bitcoin. And we were seeing quite some bullish action. Of course, we're seeing more downside action today. Obviously, nothing as drastic as what we had 2 days ago. But again, this for me is that breathing area. Okay, we're going to find this area that we're going to be in for maybe a few days, could be up to 10 days or so, and then we're going to break out of it one way or another. Hopefully to the upside, but again, even if it's to the downside, as traders or as investors, we always have to be prepared for every scenario, or two scenarios. Is it going to go up or down? People like to say predictions of prices are going to be, you know, hey, it could get to 45k, or it could also go down to 25k. Well, as we say in Cyprus, fodisesmas, right? Which means you've enlightened us. We know that it can either go up or down. But, you know, what is actually important to remember is we do need to be prepared for both scenarios. And what are we going to do when those scenarios happen? If we do reach the 45k, 50k levels, are you going to buy more then? Well, no, if you're going to buy in more, dollar cost average now rather than later. If we reach the levels of 25k, what are you going to do? Do you want to buy more in then? Are you going to dollar cost average in there? Be prepared for every scenario, okay, for both of those scenarios. Another thing as well to note was what was good to see yesterday is that there was quite a bit of interest in altcoins. So altcoins weren't doing too badly yesterday. What do I want to see Bitcoin by the end of today? I would like to see Bitcoin above 33 again. I want to see that kind of level reach. Where's my cursor? Yeah. See, I want to reach that level here because I want to get over this bottom of this wick. Ideally, if we can hit 34k, that'd be great as well. But you know, either which way, I'm ready to see how the market is gonna go. But I think that's it. I think let's leave the chart stuff. Let's leave the news stuff. There was a funny news thing I wanted to mention. I didn't bring it up. I'm not prepared for it on the screen. But Madonna is releasing an NFT. I mean, these NFT stuff is going crazy, and it's not going to be a safe for work NFT. Something to do with nude pictures of her, 3D images of her giving birth in different settings. I don't know. But anything that Madonna does is always going to be out there. But another little bit of news for you. You know, let me just end this video and parting off with some wisdom. All right, take it how you like it. If you're looking at the charts right now, if you're looking at portfolio, stop looking at it 20 times a day. The more you look at it doesn't mean the more it's going to go up or down in your favor. You know, yes, you might be wound up, you might be frustrated, you might be disappointed, you might be over invested. But this is the nature of crypto, especially. I mean, stocks, as we saw, wasn't doing too well, but this is the nature of cryptocurrency, especially. This volatility is crazy. You know, my portfolio overall is down from the last time when we first went up to the $30,000 level. Okay, when we ran up. Okay, let's go back here. When we ran up, when we were here, and even actually when we were here, but especially here, right, in this area where you can see the cursor moving around. When we hit that 30K, I was up more than 60% than what I am at now in terms of my cryptocurrency portfolio. Now you're gonna say, well, why is that? It was because, well, the altcoins ran up with them, okay, and the altcoins were doing incredible. Now, where we've gone up and we've come down, the altcoins have suffered, right? We're back at this 30K mark, right? So I should be back at where my portfolio was, but of course the altcoins have reacted the way that they would react in this market, and my portfolio is down. Now, doesn't mean I'm down overall. In fact, I'm up, and I'm up a massive, considerable amount, and that is the underlying and most important thing there, right? I am up overall, but my portfolio is down, you know, in comparison to where it was at 30K before to where it is now. It is down. What am I going to do about it? Well, nothing, right? I'm going to let things sit. The altcoins that I do have, I'm not planning on selling them. They're not bad altcoins in my opinion. I like the projects that I'm invested in, and I'm going to hold them. If you are in some altcoin projects and you're thinking, you know what, I don't like them, I think they're going to perform terribly and I want to get rid of them, then you might be better off putting them into Bitcoin. But again, that's down to you and that's your decision. But the point is yes, you know, I'm not feeling completely euphoric with this market, and that's just the way it works, all right? That is just the way it works. But what am I doing for it? Well, nothing, mostly, right? I don't look at it 20 times a day. I know where we are roughly today. I know we'll be roughly in a few hours. I'm going to come back and check the charts, but I'm not panicking and I'm not doing things on impulse. What I am doing when I see opportunities and the price goes lower, if we go lower, I'm buying in. I'm seeing that as an opportunity. I'm not seeing that as, oh, we're all going to freak out and do our nutting with it, which is English slang for going crazy. I'm dollar cost averaging into these opportunities, and in my opinion, they are opportunities, right? The market is going to do a lot better, right, at some point, and when it does, I will be reaping the rewards of dollar cost averaging in, especially when we go to these lows. And there is a part of me that wants to reach the 25K area, okay? I know some of you might be going, no, what are you talking about? But yeah, you know, there is a part of me, I do want a cheaper Bitcoin because I want to buy more of it. It's as simple as that. The problem is when we see these kind of lows, or when we talk about these even further lows that could happen, everyone sees red and it's like, no, that's not what we want. But later on, when we're at the 65K region again, you're going to look back and say, oh, I wish it was down at 30 so I could buy some more, because I would have been, you know, if we go from 30K to 60K, it'll be doubled up. So take that into account. Don't panic when things like this happen. It happens, right? And this is how you want to play the market. This is how you want to, well, this is how I play the market. This is how I deal with the situation. At the same time, you know, I do understand it. I don't like to see the market drop 10% when it already feels like it's already bottomed out. That's crazy. It's not nice to see. But we deal with it. You take what's happened, you look at possible scenarios, possible outcomes from it, and you decide what to do with your investments at that point. But the one thing I would say is don't sell. Don't panic sell. Don't start freaking out and selling everything, because I'm 99% sure that you will regret it later. Unless you are planning on selling everything now, then fine, look at the charts, decide what you're going to do now, but don't. Just don't. So that is the charts, that is the market at the moment. I'm going to try and get this edited as quick as possible and uploaded as quick as possible. So the edits are not going to be as refined as I've been trying to make them, purely because the market moves quickly and I don't want to upload this video and Bitcoin's at 35K or at 25K, because then I'll be panicking more than what I have been with seeing the price, because I'll be like, no, I need to do another video now to update, or just delete the video and everything that I've been doing. Of course, I am new to the channel. Of course, I am new to YouTube and my workflow isn't as quick as it should be yet, right? As quick as it can be. But, you know, this is just the growing pains of starting a new YouTube channel. Now, guys, on that note, please don't forget to subscribe and like, hit that notification bell if you haven't done so already. If you did like this video, if you found it useful, let me know. If you didn't, or if there's any criticisms or or anything that you want to mention, positive or negative, please put them in the comments below. I do want to learn more about YouTubing in general and doing these videos. Did you like it all together with the news, with the stocks involved with the crypto? Would you like them separately? Did I make an absolute salad out of it all, right? Whatever, put them in the comments below. It's you know, for me, I'm progressing, I'm learning always, and you know, don't just invest in things like crypto or stocks. Invest in yourself, like I'm doing here. I'm investing in myself to improve the YouTube channel and how I'm working with the screen. I noticed in my last video, although no one commented on it, I was doing a lot of this and talking with my eyes closed. It wasn't a psychological thing, or maybe it was. I just don't like the fact that a camera is looking at me and you're all seeing me talk. But anyway, hope you like this video. Hope you have a great day. Don't panic. Let's see how the market's going to go, and let's see if I'm going to do another market update in a day or two, or next week. We'll see how the cookie crumbles and how the market develops. On that note, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you on the next video.